Brought to you by Penguin.
The Key in the Lock by Beth Underdown. Read by Laura Kirman. Prologue. I still dream every night of Polneath on fire, smoke unravelling from an upper window, and the terrace bathed in a hectic orange light. And every morning I wake convinced that Tim is under my bed. 30 years have elapsed since the business at Polneath. I have married Richard, given birth to Tim, mothered him and watched him grow. But I see now that the decision I made at Polneath was the only decision of my life. Everything marred in that one dark minute. I've got as far as I can now with writing it down, but the dream will not shift, and the feeling of Tim beneath the bed every morning grows, if anything, more distinct. I suspect it is because the Polneath business is not finished still. Not yet. I cannot say where it will end. But I know perfectly well where it began. With the stopped mills amongst the damp trees, the silent house, and the death of a child. Somebody else's son. The kitchen clock in my father's house, ticking on past midnight. Tea on the table, well stewed, and the coals in the grate subsiding comfortably. And a woman, a girl, really, 19 years of age, with her 3 good frocks and a habit of biting her index finger. Myself, as the flames licked upwards a mile away, looking at the clock and waiting. Chapter 1. 1918. Our son Tim was killed in February, 10 months ago now. This is the first Christmas, and in that sense alone was always bound to be difficult. Today is the 23rd, and only this afternoon did I make the customary garlands for the dining room fireplace. Jake brought in the greenery and deposited it on the floor of the study, with a nervous glance at me. I suppose he is still wary after the trouble I have caused these last weeks. At any rate, he brought in his armful of ivy and mistletoe and willow, as I'd asked him to, without a word, as though he were any other servant. Making the belated decorations, I found a spider's egg sac frozen amongst the foliage, which turned to a kind of dust as I touched it, making me shudder, leaving me sad at its ruined hopes. I finished the garlands quickly and had Mrs. Fawcett pin them up, though of course I eat alone these days. Breakfast, luncheon, dinner, the chair opposite quite empty. Nobody to enjoy the garlands but me. I do not think the Fawcetts care much about garlands, but still I am glad I made them, if only so that something, anything, might be as usual. Now my painful hands are leaving green marks on the page. It is dreadful, of course, not to have Tim here, though in fact this will be the 3rd year I have missed seeing his face on Christmas Day, 1915. That was the last time. Tim's training was finished, and in the January he would be going over. He was like marzipan on Christmas cake, smooth and thick as a counterpane. But I hadn't been able to get the sugar for it. The afternoon he came home, I was still fussing with the cake. How to make it look less bare. While Jake went to the station to collect him. After his previous visit home, I was resolved this time to keep an irreproachable grip upon my emotions. I tried to tell myself I was reconciled to Tim's going. I had held out against his joining up. Then they had come in the summer to make lists of all the men. Only that, only lists, but it suddenly seemed inevitable. Tim had turned 19, in any case, and volunteered. Then, a week before his visit, the list makers had come again to the house. I'd told them the truth, that Fawcett was over the age, Jake not quite, but that one of his legs was 2 inches shorter than the other, and he cannot run without pain. I answered the men's questions.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?